Hello, everybody. Let's take a look at something I'm very excited to take a look at. Spelljammer in the Neverwinter campaign. What? Yes, indeed. So we're going to go, as you can see, the game has been updated. It now shows a ship and space, and it borrows heavily from this book right here. This is the nice cover version of it, Light of Xaryxis, which is part of the Spelljammer Adventures in Space box set. Pretty cool stuff. And let's, kind of take a look and see what we can learn about the history of Spelljammer, the lore of Spelljammer, and we're going to look at what Neverwinter has done with it. So I love to come to this map, and this map will show, where in the Neverwinter campaign Sword Coast area of the Forgotten Realms we will adventure. The answer is nowhere on here because we're going to go into something called Realm Space. So we're going to go far away from here, but let's share what the old box set used to look like. There used to be an old box set. I played this when I was in college. Yep. I'm not the youngest kid. And there was this amazing box set. I actually thought it was kind of dumb when it came out, but my friends convinced me to try it. They bought it for me, and we ran Spelljammer campaigns, and it was amazing. It was like Star Trek, where every week when you ran D&D, you could be anywhere, and you could use any product on your bookshelf. That's what I love the most about Spelljammer, is that I could say, okay, this week you're traveling through space, and you land on an ice planet, and I could pull off, something from Icewind Dale in the Forgotten Realms, but just adapt it there, or from some classic adventure that took you to some northern frozen wastes, and I could just use that and pull any monster from any book and just chuck it into the right environment and have that experience. And it was just amazing. There was also the War Captain's Companion, which was another box set full of all kinds of ships that you could use and battle with, and it had little fold-up minis you could use. It was so much fun. I had just a blast with this. And now we've got a whole new box set. This is the kind of standard print cover, and it's beautiful too. And there are things I love and don't love about this product. It's an interesting product. There are a lot of reviews out there. But what I'm going to focus on here is kind of what is it? And if you're either looking at wanting to know as a tabletop DM, hey, what's it look like when someone renders Spelljammer into 3 dimensions? How can that help me think through my campaigns? Or if you're a Neverwinter player and you want to know, hey, when I'm playing this Spelljammer campaign, what's the lore behind this? Well, I'm going to try to cover both of those. So yeah, we are going to go into what's called Realm Space. I don't know how long we'll stay here. We're going to find out together. But if you look at this kind of solar system on the right side of your screen, you can see there is the sun. There are a couple of other planets, and there's this planet called Toril. And then really far out, there's some other planets as well, Glyph and Garden and Akatha. So that's the solar system, if you will, of Realm Space. And what's really kind of fascinating about Realm Space, or even just Spelljammer in general, is that it has changed over the years. And in the latest iteration, the way it works is we sort of have something called the Astral Plane. And in the Astral Plane, which you can see here, the idea is that you have this kind of outer plane, and this kind of empty space that's kind of like gaseous, open, not a lot going on in it. You see like drifting rocks, and you might find like some ancient tower, and just sort of drifting through space. You might even find a dead god, they like to point out, or just some kind of floating island where somebody lives. The Astral Plane is mostly empty space, but in between it, you will find kind of portals to a particular, what we'd call solar system. So Realm Space is one of them for the Forgotten Realms, where Toril can be found, but there are other wild space systems. Once you go into that particular portal, then hey, you're in that particular kind of solar system or area of wild space, and here you fly around in your ship using kind of the propulsion of the ship. And ships can look just like normal, like a boat, like a galleon, or they can look quite fantastic. And they're powered by a Spelljammer helm, which you sit on. And if you have magical ability, you can kind of funnel it into the chair, and the helm powers the ship and moves it. Once you're in the Astral Sea, if you're out in this big area, well, then you actually can just move with thought, which is kind of wild, and you can sort of fly individually. I doubt we'll see a lot of these sort of mechanics taking place, but you never know. Let's get into the game and find out. I am going to, by the way, the game has some really nice new music, which I'm very excited about how good it sounds. It's cool. So let's take this character here, and I'm going to actually start my friend Garla here. She is in a place called Stardock, which is in the Forgotten Realms on an asteroid. You can see this looks actually sort of modernish. It's kind of very interesting. And this is a Githzerai layer in Stardock, and you can see space outside, and that world beyond there, that's Toril, where we're normally adventuring. And as part of the Undermountain campaign, you can see, this is the normal Neverwinter, and here's the Sword Coast. And in Neverwinter, you can travel via portal to the city of Waterdeep, which is further, I think it's down the coast. I could be wrong. It's either north or south of here. I forget. I think it's Luskan, Neverwinter. Yeah, I think so. Waterdeep should be further south. And when we go to there, we get to what's called Undermountain. Here we are. And in Undermountain, which is a famous enormous city, there is a portal in canonic lore that takes you to what's called Stardock, and that's where we are now, is in this Stardock, the kind of portal from Undermountain, deep underground, takes you to this asteroid. And here there are lots of red dragons, and the Githzerai fight against mind flayers and Githyanki and all kinds of things like that. But our adventure actually is going to take us to Protector's Enclave, and we'll see how this plays out. Protector's Enclave is the central area of the city of Neverwinter. It sort of hilariously still bears a lot of signs of construction. It looks exactly as it did the day this game started, even though the game's like 10 years old. But in theory, we would have repaired these things from the spell plague, which caused all the destruction. But building's slow, I guess. Funds are low. So we talked to Sergeant Knox to kick things in, and hey, look, there have been falling stars.
Sent word requesting your presence. He didn't give specific details, but he said it's related to the shooting stars citizens have reported seeing regularly.
Very well, my friend. All right, so there have been shooting stars, and we need to talk to the Lord of Neverwinter, Lord Neverember, who pretends to be the rightful heir to the throne. And we're going to go here to the Hall of Justice. We're, up above Neverwinter, looking down at the city. You can see Mount Hotna in the distance. That graphic's sort of been refined recently, and you can see actually in the back here they show these buildings to kind of clarify that the movie set that's shown kind of that shows Castle Never, kind of making it kind of more look like that. So it's kind of nice that they've done some work to revise, but it still looks very post spell plague. You've got things hanging in the air and so on. But yeah, we're going to go in here and see what it is that Lord Neverember needs from us.
Greetings.
Yeah, all right.
I am pleased you have received my message from Sergeant Knox.
Falling stars are an ill omen. So we're going to talk to the advisor, Kavatos, who showed up at one point. Okay, looks like we're not actually talking to Kavatos here. No, we're going to travel to go see Kavatos. Cool. So we go to Neverwinter Outskirts. Ooh, okay, that's cool. That's a star moth hanging in the sky there. Can we see? Yeah, so we can see. We're out here. This is a map that gets used often for all kinds of different events. And we can see out here that, let's see. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what that's supposed to represent. But out here, we can talk to Kavatos.
I'm glad you are here. My hunch was correct. Those falling stars are not natural. We must get to the one near the city and see if it poses a threat.
Okay. It's probably good for me to now say that this looks like there are going to be some serious spoilers for the actual adventure that is in this Light of Xaryxis adventure. So if you are going to play the adventure in tabletop, you probably don't want to watch this because it's going to spoil things. Oh, look, there's some bad guys right here. But yeah, so yeah, what character am I playing? Let's remember what my tactics are. So we find here Xerixian elves we just fought. I was surprised by them and not expecting them, so They kind of fade into the background. I don't see them very well. So let's buff up because combat's not the most fun part of this game. It's the lore of it and the interesting way they reproduce it. So looks like they're pretty weak, but you can see their elves they're teleporting and doing kind of fun things like that. They've got shields and sword. Look a little shorter than me. They're dressed in sort of some elven kind of interesting looking garb. Somewhat like the art and the official adventure. But yeah, I said there were spoilers, and that is because this concept of what I'm seeing up ahead, you see that weird kind of growth of crystal coming up, that is also in the published adventure, and I think we're going to be in for some big spoilers for the actual campaign. So if you were to play it in tabletop, this might ruin some of your fun of it. Alright, so yeah, so don't watch if you're going to play it. Looks like some shield effects from these elves. They jump around. There are some magic users. There are some melee guys. Let's do a whole horde of them. And just use a daily encounter. Churn through the stuff. Alright. So clear we're at 50%. We'll see how that all goes. There's a new lockbox called the Miniature Giant Space Lockbox, which you can get a miniature space hamster. So I'm still trying to think whether I want to open up a ton of boxes or just buy it out. Ooh, cutscene. Ooh, that's a good view of the Lieutenant Zera something or other. I don't recall whether he's in the adventure or not. Zerixar. Okay. So we will see how tough this lieutenant is. He's working with these Astral Elves. He's kind of a magic user. Gish. Little sword. Well, I guess he's all... I don't see a sword. See, or is there one? Looks like he's mostly magical. Defending this strange crystalline growth. In the adventure itself, you actually don't... You find some creatures that come out. They're not elves. There's sort of growths that come out of this thing. And they... But they're kind of just attacking citizens, but they aren't defending the actual growth itself in the original adventure. And this growth is what they call an astral seed that has dropped out of the sky, having been fired by one of those star moth ships that we saw in the sky and all. There you can see it kind of in the background, that green wing kind of there. That is called a star moth. It's a type of spelljamming vessel. The original Spelljammer set was famous in its sort of details. All right, you get away from there so I can like fight you more easily. Can't have you be all like in that crystalline growth. Come on out. He sure has lots of hit points. You could have half the hit points for the amount of fun that he's providing. So the original Spelljammer set had all these amazing, wild concepts for spaceships and some rather mundane ones. And they had some really neat, like the star moths have really neat look to them. So hopefully we see some really neat spaceships in this. Let's back off and get you to come after me, because this is really annoying, you being next to that place. I don't know, you just really want to teleport near, they don't you? Well, you're dead anyway. Alright, Kavatos always has super useful stuff to say. Let's see what it is this time.
Is draining the life of
it does know something.
It's starting to grow as well. We must find a way to stop it before it consumes everything. This may...
Cutscene. All right. It's an interesting little flying ship that doesn't seem to have a spell. Maybe no. I think that's just gear. I don't see a Spelljammer helm on that, so I don't know how that thing is flying, but it's somehow flying. And Captain Sartell appears in the adventure, although in kind of different circumstances. I don't know how that thing's flying, but somehow it's flying. Okay.
I got word that Neverwinter needed aid. All aboard the Moondancer.
Well, sure thing, Captain Elena Sartell. Looks a lot like she does in the printed adventure. And hey, look at this. We're on a ship. How cool is that? Ooh, and a star moth. Okay, so we are on a typical galleon that looks like it has a bunch of mangonels, perhaps, and or ballistas, and we can talk to her.
As captain of the Moondancer, I'll be filling you in as we go, but we've got more important matters currently. To ensure our safety, we are going to have to board a nearby Star Moth ship.
Okay, so there's the Star Moth. Looks super cool, all glowing. There are miniatures of these available, and they have the really cool glowing crystal. Looks really neat. So I'm just going to quickly check up. As much as I'm supposed to go save the world, I want to just kind of look a bit at the ship. It looks huge compared to the size that I would expect. I'm very curious whether I can jump off the edge, but I don't feel like dying quite yet. I think I might be able to just die. But you can see here the Star Moth. Look how cool that is. Awesome. Yeah. So the Star Moth here is slightly different than I think the map. Well, most of the Star Moth is in that bulbous kind of back end there, and the underneath, but and then the helm place would be kind of where the head is. But that's cool. It's good. They kind of made the top a little flatter up top, so you can, I guess, have a fight there. And then this galleon feels huge. Not sure why, but otherwise, you know, looks pretty galleon-ish. Neat. I'm down with that. Okay. Well, I won't bore you with running around. I can run around here on my own later, but that is cool. And we've got a little ramp here. And this makes me laugh a little bit because one of the things that I loved as a kid doing Spelljammer is the fact that you'd have space battles. So we would be, you know, like firing these, I'm not sure if that's a ballista. I think it's a ballista, either a ballista or a mangonel, firing them at the other ship. And you'd get to have this sort of siege warfare experience. Sometimes you would choose to then board, and kind of fight in typical D&D fashion. But having that other type of game was neat. And the 5th edition really kind of backs off of the space battles, which is, I think, too bad. But all right, let's go murderize some elves for no reason that we know, other than that they put a giant glowing thing in the ground. And I will just at some point I figure they're going to tell us, maybe, but I haven't seen any lore yet. But in the adventure, you kind of very soon get to kind of like, if you go check out what the growth is, that crystalline growth, you can tell that it is, as Cavato said, draining the life of the area, but it's really draining the planet. And you know that there are many of these that have fallen, all the kind of fallen stars. So essentially these crystalline growths are acting as a sort of like weird combination antenna on one end and drain on the other, draining the planet and sending the power somewhere. And you know that in a space of months, it will kind of destroy the planet. So we're going to lose Toril, which, by the way, I don't know where Toril is. Can't quite see it. Where is Toril? I don't see it. But yeah, so it's kind of wild that it is being... space looks really cool here, though. I'll give them that. All right, let's take this Captain Zoor'Lar. You dare kick me like that. Yeah, so this is bad, you know, in terms of as things go. Pretty terrible. These Astral Elves have put these growths in our planet that are going to drain it and destroy it in a matter of months. So yeah, you don't want that. That is a big no-no. So because that's your house is going to be destroyed. So we're clearly going to have to do something about it. We've been rescued, I guess, sort of, by this captain. But we're going to need to know some more soon, because so far this adventure is not telling me a whole lot, particularly if I didn't happen to already know the plot. Right now it's just sort of like weird growth, elves up above, human pulls me into the ship and says, go fight the Star Moth people. So, okay, you know, I evaded you. Yeah, so Regis and I, my companion, will finish off the Zoor'Lar. Looks like he's getting close to going down. Oh, he retreated. Haha. Alright, so I guess he went back here and... Oh, look at this. Princess Xedalli is, I guess, tied up, is the idea. So this is definitely spoilerific because Princess Xedalli is one of the main NPCs, if not the main NPC, in the adventure Light of Xaryxis. So let's talk to her.
My brother is likely on the way with the Xeryxian armada, which will destroy this ship and imprison any survivors. While I do appreciate the daring rescue, we must leave realm space at once.
Playing the haughty princess quite well. Good job, Princess Xedalli. Understood. Okay, let's get back onto our ship. So, yeah. We'll head on up here to our cool galleon. And let's talk to Captain Sartell.
Looks like we rescued that prisoner just in time. The Xeryxian armada just entered realm space.
Cool. I don't think that you actually have any way to actually know when a ship enters realm space, according to the lore, but let's go with it. All right, I talked to you. Leave realm space. Oh, star chart. Okay, fun. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, nice little... I guess that's the Moondancer. The Moondancer is the space, same thing in the tabletop adventure, and it looks like we went from an instance play to now, lots of other players are around here. And so this is, I guess, the Moondancer again, but now it's got doors inside. Oh yes, look at this! It's Flapjack. I'm a fan of Flumps, and Flapjack is the actual pilot of the ship. So sweet, and here's the helm. You can see this is the spelljamming helm that Flapjack can use to pilot us around. So we've got our captain. We've got a curator of histories.
Though I am forbidden to interfere in the grand design, I see all that comes to pass.
Okay, that's a line to use at work, but sure. Okay, there's some lore about the Moondancer. So, the Space Galleon is a mainstay among the host of vessels that ply wild space in the astral sea. Space galleons can easily pass for ordinary seafaring galleons because they can land on water, move across like their namesakes. They can sail into ports and terrestrial worlds without attracting attention. But then you can go some miles off the coast and fly up into the air. So this normally large galleon, glad they called it out, belongs to Captain Elena Sartell, a privateer that often works under the commission of Prince Andrew, the ruler of the city built upon a gigantic asteroid known as the Rock of Brawl. Okay, so that's pretty similar background to the adventure, or the same background as the original adventure. Let's check out what else there is around here. This all looks really cool. The art is art from elsewhere. Ooh, little portholes, and there's a little thing there we can use. We'll use that in a bit. Let's see, who is it? Oh, Princess Xedalli.
I hope the universe will one day forgive the Empire for its transgressions. I am in your debt, adventurer. You have saved me from Captain Zoor'Lar, a maniacal astral elf bent on serving my brother.
Okay, here, so we get some news. The giant astral seed that crashed on our world is from her father, Emperor Zaven. Her brother is Prince Zelith. Our planet will be drained of all life. Once that energy is completely drained, it's channeled back to my home star Zerixar, replenishing its light once more. Okay, what can we do?
And soon the Xeryxian Empire will be without a ruler.
So she wants the throne, her brother wants the throne, they are at odds. Father is dying. Astral seeds will destroy world after world. If I become the ruler, I will cast my ring of shooting stars into Zerixar, destroying it in the process. This ring was taken from me while captured by Zoor'Lar, so we must work to obtain it once more. Okay, that's different than the adventure somewhat. It's all the same ingredients, just a slightly different order. Help me defeat my brother. I may ascend the throne. I give you my word, once I'm in power, I will destroy the Star of Zerixar. But we have to work with Captain Sartell to assemble an alliance. So this is kind of a sped-up version of the adventure. Cool. Yeah, build a coalition of allies. Got it. Now she had some other info there. Let's see more about you. Power struggle.
I have been embroiled in a power struggle with Prince Zelith.
Yeah, okay, that part.
To stop Prince Zelith, we must first locate his deranged
So
minion.
Captain Zoor'Lar, get the ring of shooting stars. Brother has one as well. Cast it into the star and you win. What are astral seeds? Cool.
Are launched from Imperial Star Moth ships into various
Bury
host
themselves in the
planets across all
ground.
wild space.
Pull all
These
the
seeds fall from the sky
energy
and
out.
bury
Okay,
themselves in the
cool.
ground of the target world.
Good. Tell me about the star
It is a
Xaryxis, white hot
at the
star.
center of Xaryxis space, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, so
the
their
heart of
planet
our empire.
dies, their sun is dying, unless it gets replenished, and they figured out that a great way to replenish it is just destroy another world's planets and send the light to their sun, and isn't that great? Not good. Not a good plan. Not what good people come up with. And there's some lore about Princess Xedalli. Where are we here? That's kind of the same thing that we just heard about. Okay, cool. Nice little summary. What is this? This is the Xeryxian Empire. I think that's going to also end up being very similar to what we know already. Yeah, so it's the story of how. So good, we get the full story here. So now that we've read this lore and talked to the princess, we understand that hey, this is what the elves are up to. They are draining our planet of energy. But if we can destroy the sun by throwing in the shooting star ring that either her brother or she wears, then we will stop that draining effect and win. But also we need to regain the ring from the Prince Zoor'Lar guy we just fought. And we must also build a coalition that can take on the Empire so we can get in there.
But welcome aboard the Moondancer. I wish this was under better circumstances, but I was asked to assist the people of Neverwinter and get you into wild space as swiftly as possible. You are more than welcome to use my
So
ship.
she's on board with doing
It's good to have
the Alliance.
We have received
And we get here.
Planet Remichi.
Planet Remichi, that's very interesting.
With their Spelljammer, preventing them from leaving.
So a group of Mercane have trouble with their Spelljammer, and we need to help them because maybe they will join us. And the Mercane have some pretty neat lore. We'll see what else we get. Let's take a quick look around this ship. So we're going to speed out here. Oh, that is cool looking. That's neat. Okay, don't know what that is. It's neat looking. And we can come out here and see the back of the ship. Oh, that is neat. Yeah. The science of spelljamming, quote unquote science, is quite interesting. Basically, when a big body, like an enormous dragon or a spaceship, like this galleon, leaves the planet, and I'm not sure that that's Toril. That's interesting. We can see these planets here. If I go back to my map here, if we go here and look at the realm space, it's hard to tell whether that's Koliar. So Glyth, Garden would have little things orbiting around it. Glyth would have the rings. So there might be Koliar and Toril maybe that we're seeing when we look off of here. That's probably Toril. Yeah, it's Koliath, maybe. Cool, I like how everything sort of just moves a little bit. So when a Spelljammer leaves a place that has air, it takes an air bubble with it. And it has a sort of gravity plane. So if we were to jump off here, what should happen is that we would bob around. I'm sure I just die, but if I were to jump, let's try it. Let's see if I die. Yeah, I die. That's not supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is that I would bob back and forth until I reach the sort of gravity plane of the place, and then I would be able to climb back on the ship. And it makes for fun shenanigans in battle when two ships come together, because the gravity planes kind of equate based on whichever ship is the biggest. All right, cool. So I can get to look and see the ship from the outside. So that's the Moondancer. Very cool looking. I dig it. What else can we see about the Moondancer here? There's a downstairs. That's kind of neat. So we get to see what the cargo area looks like. There's Juma. So Juma is this kind of silly creature that has appeared now in a couple of campaigns. In some campaigns, it's had really good rewards, and others quite terrible. Various vendor types, and I don't see any real like obvious Easter eggs. There's goods here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything particularly surprising that I'm seeing here. Nobody's hiding under the stairs. Got lots of... Wow, jeez. That's a specially modified ship with that many little ballista mangonels. That is unusual to be... that you don't usually only have a few weapons on a ship, but this is a weirdly big ship, I guess, to hold all the different players that might be running around. Though this area looks like it doesn't have a lot of reason why you'd visit it. Now we're at the front of the ship. Again, we can look out here. Very cool. Oh yeah, it's neat looking. I dig this. Ooh, and there's another planet. That's kind of reddish. Yeah, that is... I am not sure what that might be. Trying to look at the picture of realm space to see which the different planets could be. Especially since I don't see any rings. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's really neat. There is one that's a mix of... well, there are some really interesting planets in realm space, but none of them look exactly like what I expect. Unless this is... So when they said Planet Remichi, that is not a planet that I'm familiar with. That seems like new lore. So yeah, I don't know. That is really interesting. Don't mind me geeking around trying to figure out what all this stuff is. I like the little kind of shooting stars and stuff. It's great. Really fun. I am absolutely impressed by these visuals. Very cool stuff. Oh, look, there's the bell I hear. Can I ring it? No. Unless it's on a timer. Okay. And then just, there's mail in space. That's kind of funny. Okay. Cool. So we are supposed to travel to planet Remichi. Let's see what that's like. Hey, we got a new wild space area. And we have Remichi space, which is, as far as I know, brand new lore-wise. No lore exists to this. And same thing with Gabion space. I've not heard of these, and these are different systems than what features in the adventure. Maybe these will be other areas, as you can see from the sort of dead god and floating thing. This is the astral plane, like we looked at that image before. Space whale. All right, so Remichi space. Astral guppy. And star moth. So there's a planet Beloria, asteroid Omomia, planet Byzunov, and asteroid Zar'bos. And we're supposed to go to planet Remichi. Okay. So let's go and see what the story of Remichi space is. Planet Remichi lore. That's kind of cool. Far into its 200-year orbit from the nearest star, this planet is mostly covered in darkness and lacking any atmosphere. Because of this, all moisture evaporated into the vastness of space long ago, drying out the planet completely. This desert planet harbors an imperceptible, ancient sentient being, making visitors uneasy, giving them the constant sense of being watched. Those who managed to visit and leave say the very planet itself seemed as it was alive. The only inhabitants on the surface exist as unexplainable creatures, having evolved to survive the harsh environment found on Remichi. Having landed more recently, Mercane traders looking for riches to plunder found nothing of value. They're now stranded due to ancient alien technologies on the surface, blocking the use of the Spelljammer on their Mercane galleon. Okay, interesting. So that's our little magically floating ship. I can use my mount here. Should probably choose something that's more spacious than a giant crab, but this is my pirate look, so hey. Oh, that's cool. So there is our Moondancer near some asteroids, a big, huge moon. Oh, that's neat. Little kind of ring planet. Very cool looking. Let's see, this map, pretty big. Kind of some canyons, kind of interesting looking place. Looks very Star Trek, very, you know, send the away team to go see what's going on here. We got some glowing divergent being. Are they mean? They are mean. Alright, but they can be killed if necessary, so sure. I don't really mean you any harm, but you are, I guess, weird beings that haunt people or something. So which way we have to go? Hey, there's a little treasure chest. Yeah, you know, alien planet. typical treasure chest. I imagine we might see skill kits too for no reason whatsoever. Wait, it says I need to go this way. Maybe I was supposed to talk to somebody. No, just go a different way. Wait, what? What am I doing? What's happening? This is where it came from? Yeah, oh, I'm not pathed correctly. Never mind me. Alright, so now with the correct path. You never know. Okay, we go left. Ooh, that's cool. Something there. Some kind of weird ancient city, and that looks like a crashed spaceship of some sort. I'm just going to ignore these dudes. You don't bother me, I won't bother you. Yep, spaceship. Oh, that way. Another spaceship over there. Yeah, they look super Star Trek-y. I'm glad there are torches here. There really should probably be no atmosphere if what I read about the planet is correct. Again, when creatures leave places, they travel with air. That includes people. So if you leave your Spelljammer or somehow came off overboard and could leave the air envelope, you would carry a little bubble of air on your head that lasts for a little bit. So these are the Mercane, which are supposed to be giants, but as you can see, they're not. Well, I guess, yeah, they are still giantish. They are the right size. So they do tower over a person, kind of bigger than a Goliath. And let's see what it says about the Mercane, though I'm not sure that it's stuff I couldn't talk about. Magical creations of one or more deities whose portfolios revolve around fair commerce. 12 feet tall, lanky blue beings that conduct business in wild space in the astral sea, commerce, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And what's fun about this is sort of, they're almost like an Easter egg in the game, because the concept of the Mercane, so first of all, they do look, as one of my friends said, like Coneheads. They're from France, if you know the old Saturday Night Live reference. So these Mercane were used to be called Arcane in 2nd edition, and they were essentially supposed to be the company that makes Dungeons and Dragons. Back then it was TSR, now it's Wizards of the Coast. So they were created as sort of the embodiment of the designers coming up with ways for this to all work, right? Like, how would it work for all these civilizations to end up in space? Solution, the game design company is literally giving you the tools to do it. And so it was sort of almost like a joke that the Arcane were the company giving you spelljamming technology. And they go around to various peoples and sell them the means to get into space so that everybody going in space, just as they sell you the source book so you could go into space. So it's sort of a funny, like, meta joke.
Greetings, being from Toril. We have heard of you.
They sound like Coneheads.
Much interest in trading with you.
All right. So what is this place?
Medium-sized planet is dry.
Desert.
Call a desert on
Very
your
old.
world. There are no large or bright stars near. Thus, the planet is covered in darkness.
Okay, so the magic here prevents them from travel. So therefore, we're going to destroy harmonic stones that will allow them to leave. All right, let's go kill some harmonic stone creatures, whatevers. Let's see, are there harmonic stones around here? Oh, that looks like a big red harmonic stony thing. Ooh, that hurts. So we will tear apart these divergent beings who seem to not understand the value of a good conversation. Ooh, I'm gonna die. I died. I'll just use one of my skull's life. And there we go. So they are mean, and you should probably not stand in the middle of all of them and take all their damage at once. They don't like talking or sandwiches, which is what I would prefer to exchange in, and we can destroy a harmonic stone. Okay. No, not a whole lot of lore as to why, and that's good. Ball of fire called a Twisted Spirit. So they make a little glowing circle around me, and then you want to move away from that. Okay. That was good. Glowy circle dead. And now we'll go here. Get away from the fire, having learned our lessons. That was a lot better when we didn't just sit in the fire. Pro tips. 2 harmonic stones destroyed. Ooh, this looks cool. What is this area? Oh, neat. Like ancient city. Does it look like you cannot get there? but it's cool. So something used to live here. I guess that's the ancient civilization, and somehow they died and became spirits. Cool, neat. Looks like maybe there might be, maybe this is like a spot for a heroic encounter or something. It looks like it could be. But all right, let's stick to the plan and get rid of cube stuff. Okay. And this video I may cut here and there to eliminate. I think you've now seen what it's like to destroy cube stuff. So I will be, as before, and maybe even more than before, cutting out things that are of no interest. Because it's just going, oh, what is this guy? That guy's different. Ooh, a line of lightning. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's very sci-fi-ish. Yeah, you know, one of the interesting things, sometimes people will look at something like Planescape and say, like, what is going on? By the way, we just saw some note about Xeryxian invasion, and we've got this kind of meter. So there's some kind of larger thing that we haven't been told about yet as to how that works. This guy's pretty tough. So I was going to say, you know, you might... I did not dodge that well. You might say that, hey, you know, why is sci-fi in Dungeons and Dragons? How can that be? And what's interesting is from the very beginning of the game of Dungeons and Dragons, there has been science fiction to it as part of what the designers came up with. So if, for example, you look at the original Dungeons and Dragons box set, well, the follow-up to that box set included an adventure where the person, the main kind of villain in it, is actually from another world. He's from outer space, and he's wearing power armor. Like, so it was something that people played with. Chocolate and peanut butter was being mixed. Wow, you can really fire that beam without hesitation, can you? Well, that is a pain to murder you. You are quite the pain to fight. It takes too long. Why am I fighting you forever? But, oh, I guess he's like a boss kind of guy, and murdering him gives me some sort of special reward. Okay. I guess that's why you're so hard. Okay, now we've destroyed our 7th harmonic stone, and we can return to the Mercane, which, by the way, like, you guys, what, do you not have, like, some weaponry or something? Because they're literally right there.
You have done well. We shall remember.
Okay, so we did that now.
We desire goods to sell. Some here are of value. We cannot collect them as the inhabitants
we have no
are
weapons.
hostile to us.
Okay, collect ancient machines. Cool. As usual in this game, they are probably going to be in the exact same hands of the people who had the cubes. And if I could have just gotten them... Oh, look, there's a glowing machine. It has now shown up. So, kill these guys. Again, murderize sentient creatures. And collect the loots in the form of glowy, weird, ancient mechanism, which we had one of these on our ship, so we could have really given you that one, but I guess you want 5 of them. Okay, so in addition to an ancient mechanism, which I had to murderize some creatures to get, I now have the ability to do one of these little viewy thingies and see this planet Remichi. Okay, pretty. Yeah. Yeah, nice look of that. Oh yeah, there's the ancient city kind of thing. Cool, that's neat. All right, so 2 down, gotta get 3 more. All right, we have all of our ancient mechanisms. We come back to the Mercane and their ship. Oh, we put them on a platform.
Right now. Are you interested in conducting commerce?
Loading dock and okay, gotcha.
For your help, we are thankful. The ancient machines are now on our ship.
I see them on the right, but okay.
Greetings, being from Toral. We have heard of you.
All right, so we apparently forged our alliance, and now we'll return to the ship. Off we go into space again. Cool. Let's see, here we go.
Things are quiet for now. I just received word that the Mercane were able to depart Remichi. They were very grateful for your help. They also promised to assist when the time comes. Though they were very clear to let us know they will continue to do business with the Empire.
So yeah, the Mercane become the first of a group that we're talking into joining us into an alliance to oppose the Xeryxians. And Flapjack looks cool as always.
Welcome to the Moondancer. Princess Xedalli received word that some members of the Mutineer Underground, Empire deserters, crashed on planet Beloria and are being hunted by Xeryxian loyalists. Linking up with these deserters would be wise.
So, deserters, I guess elves working for the princess instead of the prince. We can win them over, protecting them. So let's go to this next spot. This is also in Remichi space, planet Beloria. Let's see what it says about planet Beloria. Lush, rocky, Toril-sized planet sits close to a pair of binary stars, giving it life, known for the massive spelljamming ship that crashed onto its surface ages ago, which must have been called the Beloria. Beloria is occasionally bombarded with cosmic magic due to a starburst from another nearby system. Ages ago, a flare from the system disrupted the Spelljammer on a passing ship, causing it to lose control and crash. Okay. Recently, overrun with Astral Elves loyal to Emperor Zavan, searching for a deserter. Disillusioned with the Empire, its conquest and destruction of worlds, General Gallia Ianor, leader of the Mutineer Underground, commandeered a Star Moth spelljamming ship to lead a group of other deserters. But being pursued, they were forced to crash on Beloria when the ship was damaged by Imperial weaponry. Okay, so Mutineer Underground, no real place to call home, being hunted down, and we have a chance to help them. So here we are. The sounds are kind of cool, jungle-y, but a little bit like the Cholt area. Like, not particularly totally new, but, you know, sort of jungle equals tribal. I don't know about that. But, okay, because we're space, but...
The Zarxian Empire must be stopped at all costs.
Stopped! What is this place?
Beloria is a medium-sized rocky planet with a temperate climate. It exists in a binary star system and sits at a comfortable distance for sustaining life.
Yeah, okay. So kind of same information as before.
Did Princess Xedalli send you?
Yes, she did.
We were running from the Empire with a stolen Star Moth.
Okay.
When they caught us near Beloria.
They like repeating the same info several ways, which is fine. So we need help pushing back the Empire. Reach the Mutineer Underground camp. Okay. So we're going to reach that camp. In theory, we're going to be attacking people throughout, but you know this game, if we can run past mobs and just go to where we're supposed to, we will do that. So cool, very neat looking. You know, definitely you got hanging, you know, earth moats. Looks like our ship there, which our ship really could have just dropped us off there, but okay. Hey, treasure chest. They're treasured. You know what every planet has? Treasure chest. Glowing. They might have giant glowing fronds, but they're gonna have a treasure chest somewhere. Because that's just the way it is. Hey, that's another of those crystalline growths. So they're going to destroy this world too. That's totally not cool. Very pretty looking place though. I always like the earth moats with water coming out of them is cool. Yeah, so that's not good. Neat. Cool looking though. Really cool looking place. I think I got a little lost. This is another of these like cool clearing things, but I'm not supposed to be here. All right, stick to the path, Teo. Stick to the path. Here we go. We're on track. We're going to follow the glowing trail. Bridge. Nice. I don't know who made the bridge, but... Okay. Cages. Probably in another quest. Ooh, bad guys. Don't mind me, bad guys. Just going to use the path that you're not guarding. You guys look like trouble. I'll just move around you. Hey, you are friends. Okay. Really? They're like right there. Okay. Let's talk to the lieutenant.
We don't have the power. Clear out some hostiles, and we can connect up with the others near your landing site.
Yeah, you look tired. Okay.
If you can clear out some of these hostiles, we'll make a run for it.
Yeah. So I like that. It's a little better than kill 25 Astral Elves, but it still is kill 25 Astral Elves. It's pretty clear. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Just could have chopped your heads off. Okay, here's hostiles. Let's clear them. Violence is always the solution in Neverwinter. Dun, dun, dun. I am violent. Yep, there we go. That is 6 of you, so we're going to have to keep this up for a bit. Here, we will take these guys down. Yeah. We have cleared a path, so we go back to the general. Okay. Actually, I didn't look at the map. All right, so it's kind of a little circle kind of spot. Cool. Some pretty areas. Ooh, that's neat looking. It's cool. All right. Ooh, bad guys. Don't mind me, bad guys. I did my mission. I killed my 25. You guys can stay alive. All right, back we go to where we started. So we're going to let them know that, I don't know, I guess they made it. Oh, they're here. Hey, look at that. You made it. But you teleported, so I don't know.
As long as the star from my home system exists, some of the scouts out in the field tell me you've thinned out the loyalists here. Excellent work.
Yeah, that's what I did.
We've been on the run for so long that we've run low on supplies.
Okay, you guys seem to teleport, but I will bring supplies to you. I don't have to get the supplies. I apparently have them on me. Is there anybody out there needing supplies? I'm here for you. Oh, there's a person. I see somebody. Swashbuckler. Nice. Oh, I should turn my damage things off. I will do that in a second. All right. Mutineer Underground Scout. I have given you supplies. All right, so I've helped 5 people. I turn in the quest.
Excellent work. We're just about ready to mount an offensive. You can count on us to assist you and Princess Xedalli when it's time to bring the fight to the Empire.
That's all it took. So we cleared a path between 2 groups that were, I guess, separated. We brought supplies to folks out in the camp, and we're done, and we can go back to Captain Sartell. All right, so to go to the third planet that we're visiting, I actually need to use a different character because I somehow... the video, I didn't capture it. I don't know what happened. So here we go, take 2. Disciples of Zerthamon.
Flapjack has detected strong psionic activity coming from a
So Flapjack, our cool pilot for the ship, Spelljammer captain, he is a flump, and he has psionic capabilities. Normally that means that within kind of the immediate area you can sense things. Somehow Flapjack can detect strong psionic activity from an asteroid, you know, somewhere in this solar system. So that's really impressive, Flapjack. Way to go. But so we know that this area apparently has Githzerai and an Illithid enclave. Githzerai are the sworn enemies, as are Githyanki of Illithid. They were once unsubjugated by them, and the Githyanki and Githzerai sort of had different ideas on how to take it as they got their freedom, and so they became 2 different groups and sometimes battle each other. But they always battle the Illithid. So we're going to go help the Githzerai. We've done that before, like we saw at the very beginning. We started in Stardock. So we're going to go see some Githzerai there. So we go to our star chart, and we go to Remichi space, so still in the same wild space system. And this time we go to Asteroid Zar'bos. Pretty cool looking place. We get some lore here that it's a tidal-locked asteroid orbiting a very large solar star system found near the center of Remichi space. I don't know what they mean by orbiting a large star system. Maybe large sun, maybe, is what they mean. So get a constant diffused green light. This dimly lit rocky asteroid, though mostly void of life, is on one-day travel to a nearby planet, home to many Duergar. So the Duergar are used by the Illithids on this asteroid of Zar'bos. To use for whatever their mining, I guess, is that's going on. And these Githzerai from their home in Limbo, which is the outer plane of kind of chaos, have tracked them here and are working to wipe them out. So we start in this little area here. Here are kind of our Moondancer folks, the Moondancer up above. Amazing. Look at that cool sky. And I guess that's the kind of giant star that gives off the... Oh, no, there's the star that gives off this light. And this must be... some nearby planet that they were mentioning. All right, so that is really cool. And we can see some elements in the architecture, that kind of cubic things. Those are things like we've seen before when we have done things involving the Illithids, the Mind Flayers. So it looks like there is something going on here, some kind of portals, and they kind of come in, I guess, from Limbo and take the battle to the Illithids.
But they kept...
This pretty much gives us the same information, it looks like. So, yeah, we're glad to help them. And the colony is deep within the asteroid, but I guess there are some on the surface that we'll get to battle. It makes us look like maybe we're going to go down underground, but nope. We're just going to fight the surface ones. And right now we just get a quest to defeat some Illithids and assist the Githzerai. We kind of follow these Githzerais, and you see how that jump took place? So there's this less gravity here, which is kind of fun. So you end up like jumping a whole bunch, which is a really neat way to do it. Yeah, so we're gonna help this Xedalli attack. The Toon Mind Flayer kind of Toon Hulk will pull us in, trying to, and then we'll explode in psionic energy when we defeat it. Kind of cool. You see a couple other players here as well doing similar quests. And so we want to do at least 3 of these assists. So, you know, looking for where we see, you know, this monk heading. Oh, I guess there's a blue little circle. So I go to this blue circle. And we can take out Illithid masterminds that we've done, you know, fought a number of Illithid before. They all, these seem to be doing the same kind of pattern of attacks. A really cool looking area. So I'll just go on a quick little tour of what this looks like. And again, it's really fun that you can sort of jump and be kind of all over the place. Really cool atmosphere, you know, and kind of neat. It actually makes me feel a little bit like the Githyanki or Githzerai, who often have sort of teleportation or monk-like jumping. So it's kind of neat that you get to kind of do that on this planet too, be a little sort of super heroic. And there are a lot of these kinds of stilligators and the what do you call these? The little mind flayer pets, these brains. I can't think of the name of them right now. I'm sure a lot of you are watching this thinking, I know the name of that, and yeah, normally would. Yeah, so kind of cool. You get to just jump around, zoom around. Looks like someone else is in the business of taking them out. Oh, looks like we did it. Very cool. But really neat looking, and look at this. You can kind of go. Oh, geez, I almost drifted off the edge. It looks like you can die by just falling over the edge, and I almost did that. Really cool looking. And there's our ship, the Moondancer, so we'll head back to it. We head back here to turn in our quest.
Things are all shed no tear for them. Illithids are cold murderers that will enslave.
Yeah, the Illithids are bad, fair. Recover prayer beads. So this kind of has some nice lore here that the Githzerai, they use these sacred prayer beads, meditation beads, and they begin with a small number as a youngling, and then they get one additional one as they grow in skill and age. And so over time, this kind of means a lot to you because they all represent teachings. And I guess they're saying some of these have yet to be recovered from shrines due to the conflict. So they were, I guess, placed there in these shrines, and they ask us to go get them. So we head off to, and you can see this is not a very big area. We just kind of head into this area and reclaim some. So we'll go past this group here, and we look for these little like shrine areas. They look kind of like there we go. Here's one. So there's often bad guys here, but I guess there are enough people playing right now that they are, you know, taking care of the bad guys, and I get to just come by and get them, which is perfectly okay for me. So I'm going to do this several more times, and then we'll retune. This is kind of fun. Found another of these little viewing areas. And looks cool. Wow. Yeah, so you see how you get the Zar'bos asteroid kind of topography, but then also this clear mind flare influence. Excuse me. Very cool to see. I dig that. And now back to the quests. All right, so with enough of the prayer beads recovered, I come to this sacred site and I place them here. Apparently it doesn't matter, they're bad guys right there. I have somehow done something good here. Kind of cool, little neat effect. And I get to return to Nasraka. So we have recovered the prayer beads, put them at the site,
Those
and
prayer beads have great sentimental value to us and will allow us to honor the passing of the original bearer.
all right.
Your generosity in assisting us will not.
So cool. So we have them on our side now, and looks like everything. So we return to Captain Sartell from our little jumpy planet here to the Moondancer, and there we can continue our quests, and we'll see what happens. We now have 3 different groups that we've managed to befriend in short order. Pretty cool. So that's 3 groups that can help us against the Xeryxian Empire. And we will turn that quest in.
Things are quiet. Flapjack tells me that the psionic disturbance
Good, the
from
monks will
Illithids
help.
Welcome to the Moondancer. It's good to have
Alright,
you
so it looks
aboard.
like now we get a bunch of different quests.
Our activities in wild space will not go unnoticed.
Okay, so now we get to do something with related to that invasion thing that we saw, which says complete activities to provoke the Xeryxian Armada. They will attack, travel to the Xeryxian invasion landing site, confront the Empire. Okay, so we kind of can do that. We can go back to Beloria and take down enemies. We can destroy harmonic stones on Remichi, which we did before, and collect aberration essence on Remichi. Cool. So there you go. So it looks like we kind of reached the point in the campaign, which actually we can look at that campaign and see. Kind of, you know, there's the typical kind of way that Neverwinter does things of gathering different amounts per week, and then you can reach and unlock different benefits. And I don't see a miniature flump. That's too bad. And we can unlock boons and stuff like that, different benefits. So we still got a ways to go. We'll be able to get our sort of first reward later, but we at least kind of seem to be going into this sort of weekly mode of like do a bunch of quests, come back, turn them in. The other thing we can do is talk to Flapjack here.
I sense you have big feelings.
Great. I sense you have big feelings. Stopping the
Peaceful
Empire.
planets across wild space are being overrun by the Xeryxian Empire.
Okay, that's great
feel
text.
Their anguish. It's squishy and uncomfortable. We need adventurers like you to ensure the safety of these innocents.
That's really good.
Captain Sartell has asked me to share her thoughts. As if I could stop sharing them. Ha! She wishes all adventurers work towards filling the Moondancer's treasure hole.
So do activities, which equals getting those doubloons. Okay, so cool. So we've got, you know, kind of our, now we really truly do have sort of these, the weekly kind of typical ways of doing things. We've got these weekly tasks. We've got our main, do this Xeryxian invasion and other quests. And so we're going to do that, I guess, until we unlock new parts of the story. But cool. We got a whole bunch of plot up front. We got to visit some very cool places here in Wild Space. Oh, we can ring the bell. So we will next time continue when we get to see where our adventures take us. Very, very exciting.